Good evening, everybody. Welcome back into another game night for Dota 2 Canada Cup Season 6. My name is Mont. Thank you for joining us here for the lower bracket semifinals. It is Digital Chaos versus the South American squad of Infamous. One of two South American teams, one of two proving teams still left in the tournament of the four. Of course, there's Digital Chaos, Infamous, and in the winners bracket, there's, of course, Complexity and Elite Wolves. So we're getting down to it, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting to that time where it's going to be grand final soon. But first, in order to get there, we got to get one team out of here, and that's going to be either Digital Chaos or Infamous tonight. My name is Bob. Thank you for joining us here on moonducktv. Of course, I'm not alone, as always. LPQ Stats is joining us today. We'll have Pitmuckle, the crazy German guy himself, currently in Phoenix, Arizona, where it is hot, and he's getting crazier by the day because now he's feeding off that American energy. And then it is, of course, Purge as well joining me. And, Purge, how the hell are you, bud?
Mott, that was the longest intro ever. Like, actually the longest one.
I know.
Like,
how many
breaths
there?
That was like 4 breaths.
I definitely was trying to. I was like, you know what? Let's see how much I can do today, and see how much. See, I wanted to see if you noticed it, which was really important to me, and I'm glad that you talked about it.
Dude, when you had to stop talking so you could breathe in, that was when I noticed it. Okay.
Well.
Pretty good, though. Digital Chaos versus Infamous should be a really good game. Infamous runs at their opponents, and Digital Chaos has some really good strats they've been refining a bit. They do have a new player standing in. It is House MD. I don't know who the hell that is, but I'm going to guess it's not TC.
I'm going to look this up real quick. I want to make sure I get the correct answer to this.
I would actually guess it's a Smurf, if anything, because you don't always necessarily want to announce if you're playing or trying out on other teams. Who knows? It could be anybody.
It's okay. Here's the thing. It says he's from Germany in his Steam profile, and if you like click on the thing where it like gives you the other names, like there's a like none of these things I would ever like think like, okay, well, I don't know what it's like, Avatar, QP, Recovery, Imposter, but one of them is Maxwell. Isn't what's his face?
Sounds
Quakefa?
like yeah, Quakefa probably.
Quakefa's first name
both
is
German and his name is Max. So
exactly. That's what I'm thinking. After some deductive reasoning, of course, I am Sherlock Holmes himself incarnate. I was able to discover that this is in fact Quakefa. So everybody, you are welcome. Thank you.
Wow, you figured everything out, man.
Yeah, I really.
So every time, man, it's just the team is so close to what Team Tinker was in some ways. You know, like it's a lot of the same players continue playing with each other.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah, I actually really liked Team Tinker. I felt like they were one or two good players away from being a very good team, though. And I think this team right now, if you replace Biryu with 1437, is a very, very, very good team. Not to say TC's bad. I definitely think, though, that Quakefa has some stronger elements to TC. Listen, I'm just guessing that this is Quakefa, by the way. This is not 100% confirmed. This is in no way a definite, thing. But that's what I'm predicting, and that's what I'm seeing based on my reasoning. And I don't want to lead anybody astray in that regard. We're just going to go ahead and call him House MD, though. Right, Purge?
I'm totally down. Or I'll just call him by his hero name the whole time. No problem.
Yeah, that's fine, too. I mean, that works.
First pick for Digital Chaos was Chen here. The Infamous responded with a Batrider and a Gyrocopter, and they grabbed Avenge in response to that. So they got two pretty much ideal supports for DC here. That support pairing is amazing between Venge and Chen, just because you can push so hard. Not to mention that the Venge swap can combo with just about anybody on their team, but very good for pushing. Swap somebody out of position, stun them, and then follow up with Chen disables is usually a kill. So I really like that double pairing. It's going to cover them against the Batrider. It'll give them some really good pushing and cover a lot of their bases.
How do you feel about banning up the Chen against AUI 2000 and Digital Chaos in general? Do you think that might be a good strategy, especially if he performs well here today?
I mean, it's something that they've been doing. Who was the other team that played against DC the other night?
Shazam or Leviathan?
Yeah, Shazam. Shazam did end up banning the Chen in the second round, so it wasn't too surprising. I think it's definitely a strategy that they can go for. Infamous instead opts for banning out Oracle, who's a very strong early game support for fighting, and Beastmaster, who I guess can spot out ganks. The Beastmaster ban's a little bit weird. I mean, Bulba does have an amazing Beastmaster, but banning in first round seems weird. So yeah, I would kind of agree. Maybe they should just ban Chen out, since the hero does provide so many good early game nuisances. They did also ban Bounty Hunter, which is another hero that Infamous consistently picks and drafts all the time, and is a counter to Chen. So I don't know. They have some Beastmaster ideas here. Maybe they're worried about vision and ganking and stuff. But he won't be in the game.
I don't mind the Beastmaster ban, but I feel like there are better options, like the Chen ban, like we talked about. So I agree with you in that regard, but Beastmaster is still very good, and I think a lot of American teams, especially Swindlemelons, has played that hero amazingly well. So We will wait and see how this Chen pickup goes. Digital Chaos will pick up Faceless Void for themselves again, which Bob will play to exceedingly decent grasp in the last couple of games that he played, of course, last night against Leviathan and against Shazam as well. So I think this is a good pick. He gets in, gets a Vlad's early. He'll pick up a Blink and an Aghanim Scepter. And so, yeah. And now Outworld Devour is going to be picked up for Infamous. We'll see who decides to pick it up. By the way, there is no A-Tune in this because it's a stand-in Stinger, but that could be theoretically A-Tune. But Stinger is also the name of a very good South American player, so.
It's the first time I've ever seen Kotaro Hayama tagged up as themselves since, like, the TI qualifiers of
makes me so happy, dude. It makes me so happy that I can actually like look at his name and it's the real one. Yes, thank God.
They're learning. Zeus picked up pretty strong against Batrider. You can see where he is in a lot of cases. High ground vision. Very good against Gyro before Gyro gets BKB. You can interrupt Death Ward. Does a lot of damage to OD as well. As a whole, I like Zeus as a pick here. And it's also, he provides a ton of damage without needing many items. So if DC does get a lot of early advantage, they can kind of just crush through fights with that hero.
I'm a big fan of this draft for both sides currently. I love the Batrider picked up for Infamous, and I'm more than likely to be greedy playing in the off lane. The Outward Devour played in the mid lane. And there was the change when the winter update came through. Didn't they change it so that if you put your name in Dota, like the team thing doesn't like automatically like make you use that name or something? I can't remember. I felt like there was a change like that recently.
Not entirely sure.
Okay.
When you set your team, though, I mean that's a good point. Maybe just because it depends on the game being ticketed or not, and maybe that's part of it.
Yeah, but I definitely thought that. I thought they changed. I could have sworn that there was somewhere in the patch notes that said something like that, or somebody on Twitter said it. Maybe JJ will know. Maybe, I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, JJ doesn't know either, so forget it. We're gonna just assume that they decided to be good people for once and tag up their names. Not that not tagging makes them awful people, but it makes our lives, our jobs,
it does. Let's be real.
And your jobs easier. Okay,
terrible people wouldn't trust them with my sister, etc.
God, those bastards for not tagging up Infamous. How dare you? But don't worry, they fixed everything, and now they're gonna pick up the Spirit Breaker.
What a great pick!
It's all about running at you for this team, and boy, does that hero run at you pretty hard.
It's really good against Chen creeps as well because you're going to be able to bash them all as you pass through. And Zeus as well is another hero that doesn't really like it when heroes can chase him down. He needs to be able to get away from fights or stay on the outside and nuke, and preferably have his team disable in the front. So Spirit Breaker is a really good pick here by Infamous because they can then run the Spirit Breaker in first. Even if he gets bursted down, it's okay because he'll probably get both his charge and his ultimate off. And after that, it's not a big deal to die. He'll back up his cores. Gyrocopter, Outworld Devour can sit on the back and do damage. So Luna. I think SV would have been a really good pick for them.
I'm a big fan. I don't know how I feel about this Luna though. I feel like somebody told me that this hero wasn't particularly great this patch. It might have been you saying something like that.
I think he's okay. He's not amazing, but he's just okay. It's you are playing him though, which is a bit interesting. Must mean that House MD / potential Koikva is going to be playing mid, or they're going to put Luna versus OD mid perhaps because Luna kind of does work in that matchup, but I think it's something I've seen before just because you get a lot of bonus damage from the aura, so you can actually last it competitively against the OD. Yeah,
I'm not the problem I feel like I have with the Luna versus an Outworld Devourer is the range. Your right click range is not super far, and I feel like it's always nice to have that against an Outworld Devourer. Just in any real matchup in mid, I think too is very, very important, but I'm kind of okay with him going mid, but I doubt that's going to be the case. You have a Zeus. There's no real way that you go safe lane as a Zeus, I think, in this situation. We could be wrong. I would love to see a safe lane Zeus in a mid Luna, but I don't think that's the case, but we'll see.
Yeah, it just comes down to whether or not they want to protect the Luna a bit more, or the Zeus, or more likely who's going to match up better against the OD. And I think Zeus versus OD doesn't sound very good at all, because every time you go for a last hit, you're going to have to use Arc Lightning, or you're going to have to go in close range. And at that point, the OD can hit you with his Orb and drain some of your mana, which means less Arc Lightning. So
yeah, that's fair.
I think it's a lot more likely that DC either deals with this by putting a lot of Chen pressure mid, or they put the Luna in the mid lane. But if that happens, then ganks on Luna are going to be very common, because it's not like Luna's very survivable either. So DC definitely has to deal with this in a strong way.
I would like to see them put some pressure on this Outworld Devourer. I'd like to see a Luna mid. Don't get me wrong, I would. But we'll see if that's actually the case. So we get a quick pause here for Infamous. I do want to point out, guys, that if you'd like to see your tweets on stream during the breaks, use the hashtag moonducktv and our production god, the German man himself, Pitmuckle. He'll get it for you. He'll get it up there.
Tweets on stream, dude?
Yeah, dude.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we got that production value, trust me. Listen, we could have had my face on stream too. It would have been great. But no, it said not to. No camera today.
I'm just saying, if you want to tweet Mod's face with hashtag moonducktv, I'm gonna put that tweet up. Promise.
You could do that. That's a thing you can do.
Indeed do that. We have the technology, guys.
Yeah. Listen, if you do that, I will, I don't know what I'll do. I'm not going to take my shirt. Every time I say something like, if you do X, I'm going to do Y, it always ends up being me taking my shirt off, so I'd rather not have to do that today.
What?
Because that was the original.
It made no sense to me with no context.
Yeah. Have you never heard of Montnips?
Of course I've heard of Montnips.
Okay,
but...
you've heard of it, but you don't know the story. Let me tell you the story.
Okay.
It's all right. Listen, I'm terrible at telling stories, but I'm going to get through this rather quickly so that it's not that bad. So way back in the day, I'm casting ESL qualifiers. It was like, so you remember those ESL tournaments that were over in Germany? They had these small cups with like no LAN event or anything like that. It was just a small tournament, you know, with like EG and Mouse Sports and all of them.
I think so, yeah.
And I'm casting this, and this was really when gyrocopter carry was a big thing right around TI3.
Okay.
And so let me get through this really quickly. What happened was that EG was playing up against KP at the time, and I was like, EG had picked gyrocopter like 2 or 3 games in a row, like best of 5, and I'm like, oh, you know, if EG don't go for gyrocopter again, I'm gonna take my shirt off, or something like that. I was just trying to think of what to do. I'm like, yeah, I'll take my shirt off. That's fine, because I was using the camera, I was getting my face on screen, and so I did that, and then they didn't pick gyrocopter, and I'm like, god damn it! And after that, everybody decided to jump into the chat. There's a picture of me out there with the chat that has like Cap, Gods, like all these people in chat, like watching me flex and take my shirt off. And like there's someone has that picture out there for sure, but that's where Montnips originates from, because everyone's like Montnips, 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 and now you know the story of the legendary Montnips. Also,
I just want you to know you told that story very well.
Thank you. God, you know, I've been waiting for somebody to tell that to me. I mean, even if you're lying, I still feel pretty good about myself. So.
Nah, I wouldn't lie. I would be blunt, extremely blunt and honest about whether or not you're inadequate.
That sounds like something you would do. Mon, I'm gonna be honest. That was a shitty story. You told that awfully. I'm like, oh god. But
yo, they just ate that observer ward and they split the experience 3 ways. That's 33 experienced all 3.
That is some efficiency, sort of, I guess.
Well, I mean, it's a D ward. That's amazing. That means Batrider's gonna have to be a little bit more careful in his lane. The important thing is that it's going to spot Chen rotations. Chen knows that he doesn't have to use the smoke anymore if he ganks top lane or if he swings around behind. That's pretty amazing. That's a really good thing to have.
There's no water the river, top river spot right now, and we saw that a lot when we saw AUI playing Chen. And he actually got caught 3 or 4 times when he was trying to rotate mid because there was a ward there. And now he does not have to really concern himself with that if they know that this bottom ward is here, which there's a good chance. You always want to split up your wardage from, usually from like the top lane and the bottom lane, or the top row for the bottom row or something like that. So that's very interesting. I like that they got that done. We'll see how this affects the start of the game. But as sort of we predicted, I guess it is UR in the top lane, and it's going to be House MD in the mid lane. The Zeus will be going up against Kotaro Hayama, the Legend. We'll see how this goes.
Okay, he's going to go for the banish. Just a little bit of damage here. Not really a big deal. Preventing him from last hitting is not going to be that bad at this stage, but as things go on, Zeus can get more last hits by just right-clicking. It's going to be really nice for him.
Are you getting charged? There's 4 stacks of sticky napalm. He might get caught. This is going to be more than likely your first blood. They need one more right-click. They will find it with Stinger getting the kill. And already Zutog getting on the board. Meanwhile, mid lane, there's the banishment coming out from Kotaro Hayama. I thought it was going to be more damage, but actually they just wanted to cancel the clarity. They will do so, but it is first blood in your top lane going the way of Infamous.
Yep, not a good start there for DC. Obviously, Batrider soloing him Zono. Sorry, wow, I said that wrong. Soloing him solo is very difficult to do for almost any support. So just to get that many stacks, he probably felt like he could stun and run. But with an SB showing up like that, it's taking advantage of a support that maybe didn't think of all the options. So very nice little gank there by the SB to go top.
Yeah, that was just a bit of positioning error from Biryu, maybe not anticipating what the Spirit Breaker was going to accomplish. But Stinger will go ahead and try to stop this pull, or at least stop the majority of this creep camp being taken by AWA 2000. But he does have the instant. He was not able to get close enough with Stinger and using that Firefly to get to that low ground. He's already up to 600 gold, plus his boots of speed. Down bottom, Bulba going to work on Excel. Time walking Excel will be able to heal up with his Voodoo Restoration. He had no cask. He went for the Voodoo Restoration at level 1, interestingly enough. And he'll survive, and Bulba was about to get just as, well, maybe not as much in that offlane, but still get a decent chunk of experience and gold going his way.
I think he did this just because it's He's gonna have a lot of trouble zoning the Faceless Void basically if he doesn't get some kind of advanced trading mechanic. Like Casca isn't very good at allowing you to trade with a Faceless Void. It really does very little. Bit of a double bounce here, and yeah, he's going to heal right back up. With Poor Man's Shield, every time that he hits the Witch Doctor, he's going to do way more damage than he takes by having Poor Man's Shield. So it's very simple for Faceless Void to get a lot out of the south lane, and it makes a lot of sense that Witch Doctor is going to need heals to make up for that bad trade advantage.
Are you getting spotted out mid? There was a Central Ward SC had picked up the Indus Rune. I want to ask you about the Poor Man's Shield specifically. This is something I've seen Bulba do every game. Is this very common for Faceless Void, or will you often just see like that Iron Talon first and then get treads after that? What do you think?
I mean, this is probably the build even before Iron Talon existed, and even back when Faceless Void offlane worked. Like if you're an agility hero and you're playing in the offlane, Poor Man's Shield is amazing. It gives you about 1 armor, not to mention the guaranteed 20 damage block. That reduces the output of heroes harassing you in the early game by like 30% or something like that. It's a massive percent. It's more like 40%. Most heroes hit for about 50. So, like every time this Witch Doctor hits him, he just takes almost no damage.
The trading, even with Voodoo Restoration, is not great, as you can see. He gets a bash, and all of a sudden he's like, well, I just lost like 20% HP. That's great. And he's also being able to zone out this pull, and he's got 13 last hits for an off-lane Faceless Void. And the only reason this Bat Rider is doing maybe a little bit better is because he did get that first blood. He's sitting at only 10 last hits. He's up to 300 gold after getting his bottle. He's got 11 last hits, so he's still not even close to that Blink Dagger, but he does have that extra bit of gold going his way because of first blood. So we'll have to see how Bulba continues on here in this bottom lane. Back mid, Zeus is going to be up to 17 last hits, only 2 behind the OD, so not terrible. He's doing an okay job. They haven't ganked him. And speaking of gank, where is this Chen? He's coming in, and he's going to have his creeps start pushing this tower. This tier 1 tower might get sacked very early on here, Purge.
Well, it depends where Bat Rider went, and Bat Rider's actually out on the map. So if Bat Rider had gone back to heal entirely and committed to that, he could TP to top and stop the push. But now he doesn't have a teleport scroll. They may have to charge it with Spirit Breaker to guarantee that SB gets some experience out of it. Yeah, he's going to charge top now. They need somebody to be here to try to delay the tower being taken and also to grab the experience of it being up there. So it's very, very good that DC is organizing like this to go push since they do have a bunch of bonus damage.
Ztok stops his charge smartly as he was going to get caught out there. Mid lane, House MD will take some damage from Qatar Hayama, giving him the good old right clicks, and it looks like it's going to be the Soul Ring for the Zeus. There's the tower being destroyed by the Luna. They'll get some extra experience now, and Stinger will head back to the lane to finish up and reach some of that experience. By the way, you should see the Spirit Breaker. He's level 2 currently. He's the lowest in experience, and you see this very often when you have a roaming hero. Obviously, more so with somebody like a Bounty Hunter, but Ztok is still a little bit behind in terms of experience, Burge.
Yeah, it's not too surprising though. I think it's going to be alright. Ztok's very good at roaming consistently in almost every game that he plays, so I'm sure that he's going to be able to make up for this later. And not to mention, if you do get behind, getting kills later are really going to accelerate you. And Spirit Breaker is a perfect support for this because he can basically be anywhere on the map. He doesn't really need a whole lot of items. He just needs a couple levels, or maybe even just a few like this 3, and he can contribute to a kill that'll accelerate him and catch him back up.
Yeah, it's all about those bashes. And he does have level 2 bash, and surprisingly, that is the build, or the ability build, anyway. Down bottom, almost level 6 for Bulba. We'll have to keep an eye on him. Meanwhile, Greedy sitting at pretty good last hits. He's got his Basilius and his phase boost. No Aquila just yet, but he's got some good farm. 29 last hits. He's just 1 behind Luna. And we'll see how that continues on here. He is taking a lot of damage, though, so if Bulba does get the 6, which he has down, and maybe gets a rotation, they can find a kill. However, there is a great ward in lane. Spot out anybody from TPing in. We'll see if that's going to be the case.
I mean, he's still farming so well. He's got 25 last hits for 6 minutes. It's almost like he's in a free farm lane.
Yeah, that's
he's
true.
Absolutely done whatever he wants against Gyro and them. Like, Gyro's decent against Faceless Void because Rocket Barrage does do a lot of damage, but it's damage over time, so all he has to do is leap away off the damage. Oh, gank on Bat Rider.
Nah, he's going to stay away. Yeah.
He does get the rune, though. That's a big steal there.
Yeah. Good that Zeus has Soul Ring so that he can contribute without having bottle charges, but still. Yeah, and you're absolutely right about Bulba down bottom. Oh, there's going to be a smoke gank, man. I thought there was going to be action happening, but it might be on Ztok. Would be an okay kill. Stop him from getting any more experience. But he drops the ward down, so they really want to make sure there's no TP rotations to get kills, and Bulba's going to start roaming in. See if he can find a kill. Bulba has treads now. No Iron Talon. He doesn't need it. They're going to probably find Excel here. The smoke will break. The ensnare is about to fly. There it goes, the Center Conqueror Stomp, easy kill. When they're going to just keep going, there's going to be the Zeus ult about to fly. Looks like the Wave of Tear will go through, the charge is up, and Greedy goes down to the Lightning Bolt after AUI 2000 pops Dependence. And here comes the rotation from Ztok, but he will not commit to the charge. Another TP rotation coming in is going to be from Stinger, who has the Invis rune, the Firefly going. They'll see it. AUI 2000 trying to back out. They drop the sentry.
Oh, he's
Magic will fly, and Lightning Bolt comes through. That was a bit too aggressive. Kotaro, he's going to get caught out as well. Pendants, there's going to be these Ensnare. They center Conqueror Stomp. The Eclipse will fly. And this 5-man aggression is a slaughter as Infamous lose 4 heroes in the process. That is a huge fight, and 1,000 gold going the way of Digital Chaos there.
Man, DC's playing this fight so well in this game. Like, they're basically playing a complete standard push lineup with Chen, Luna, Avenge. They got all of the heroes they wanted, basically. They've got a mid hero that outputs a lot of damage. They've got a great carry for pushing. They've got a great support for pushing. They have the Chen. And then they have another teamfight hero on the offlane who's done really well this game. They're making Infamous look like a terrible team right now, but it's basically just DC executing this perfectly. Yeah, maybe they didn't do the best job of zoning the Batrider, but they've got their levels, and now they're going to go across the map, and they're going to take all the towers.
They have the top 4 network. They're going to find Greedy. They're going to give him the good old magic missile. The Eclipse, or rather the Lucid Beam, will go. Boba doesn't have a Chronosphere. They were looking to try to find that kill, but they will zone him out. There's the time dilation. It is only level 1, so it is only going to be 7%. Actually, it's 14% because he has 2 stacks. Zeusel gets the kill onto the Gyrocopters. The Lightning Bolt came through, and it's all unraveling in this first game for this Peruvian squad, Purge.
Yep, not too surprising here. When you get a haste like this, and you're not even close to having like a Sanjin Yasha, you can get killed. Might see Batrider die. Its stun does hit.
Yeah, Magic Missile goes a long way in Stinger. Time dilation's up in 6 seconds. They won't actually be able to find him. It was close. It's going to zone him back out. And in the meanwhile, they will pick up a tier 2 tower for Yuar down bottom as he's picked up his Treads and then Keela. Dear Lord.
That tower died like it was just a tier 1 tower or something. Like how it takes so long to kill those normally, but having the Lunar Blessing and this many neutral creeps just means that they blow through towers really fast.
And they also have the level 1 Avenge Sword too, so it gives them that 12% damage bonus.
It's just a lot of damage right now, and they're completely controlling the early game. Aether Lens will be the pickup. He goes with a Soul Ring as well to make up for some mana lackings that he would have as a result. It's kind of a cool way to solve the problem rather than going for Arcane Boots into Aether Lens into another Arcane Boots. So I kind of like this option. I assume he's going to go Bloodstone maybe. Oh, gonna see another kill maybe? Yeah,
there's the chrono. It's on to 2. Beautifully done. Time dilation. Shockwave will hit onto both as well. Ztok can try to charge away. He might actually get out. Kotaro Ammo will not be so lucky in Ztok. Well, he won't even make it 5 feet before going down to Excel. Getting caught out. Looks like there's no magic missile for Buri. It's on cooldown for 5 seconds. He would have had the mana with stick charges, but of course, they did not want to continue the chase, and they will continue to push down towers. As now, 4 of the top 5 in network going the way of Digital Chaos. And I have to say, Purge, obviously, it's one game, it's a small sample size, but this team, with whoever House MD is, looks very good. Very, very good.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really fast game here. They completely control the enemy jungle. They've got the wards up in it. Infamous doesn't feel comfortable leaving their base. Witch Doctor's level 5. Once he hits 6, they can maybe get a gank off. Batrider is about 200 gold away from his Blink Dagger. So they do have the ability to come back here. They just need to smoke with Batrider, Witch Doctor, and maybe Spearbreaker for a charge and go start getting kills. But the problem is that it's hard to do that because DC's basically just going to 5-man for the rest of the game. Yep. They don't have to spread out and farm. They've got the heroes that they need. If they do lose a fight, Infamous can come back in this game. But it's going to be really hard with the gold advantage that they're picking up right now.
Yeah, they have all of their team fight ultimates back up for Digital Chaos, with the exception of Chronosphere, which will be up in a minute. They'll pick up the Aegis for Yuar, and he's obviously the target that you want to go on highest in net worth currently. Zeus will be the second one, and he's very squishy and easy to get up if you get that Smoke of Deceit gank, which, by the way, they're looking for without the Blink Dagger. It looks like they knew that this Roshan was happening, but they were not able to contest it from actually getting that Aegis, so...
Yeah, they smoked because they wanted to get there and fight them in the pit. That might have gone well, especially with, they didn't have Flame Break, I guess, but, you know, with the cask, it could be really good for them. They could have maybe got some advantage, didn't get anything out of it, but now that the Blink's up, they can try to go for a gank again, and there are going to be times like these occasionally when DC does spread out, especially because they have the Aegis. I think they're not going to fear a gank or a team fight as much.
They're going to have... They're going to have this Blink Dagger, but the problem is that there's now going to be a Vlad's up here for Bulba within just a couple hundred gold, and, well, he might get ganked down. The charge is coming in. They need to take him down. He's got time walking. He's going to use it to get away. Blink, they're going to pop the sticky napalm. The rest of DC can rotate over. They're still chasing. Stinger's looking. He's got that Blink up in 6 seconds. The Chronosphere will fly, and he's gone too far in. And look at that damage. The Lightning Bolt, the Lucid Beam, Yuar will find himself yet another kill, as Bulba will stay alive and finish up his Vlads.
Where did that homing missile go?
I have no idea.
It looked like it exploded when it hit the Chronosphere or something like that.
That's
that was
very
weird.
strange.
Maybe
Yeah,
the creeps.
yeah. JJ's gonna take a look at it. Everybody. I can't see it now. JJ, let us know, okay, bud? I actually want to know about that.
Magic?
Yeah, I must have been. Because it just disappeared, honestly.
Arcane Rune picked up on Zeus here.
Oh,
Gives him the 21-second Soul Ring cooldown.
And you know what? This feels like a game last night where the Outworld Devourer is behind, and suddenly he just can't get anything done with the items that he has. A Bracer, treads, and it's just not great.
So it looks like it actually exploded when it hit the Chronosphere. Very weird.
Okay.
Wow, really? That's crazy. I did not know that was a thing, but, well, apparently it is. So.
Huh, alright. That's weird.
Yeah, that is strange, but regardless, the second to last tier 2 tower will be taken down.
Oh,
Digital
the Mega
Lasso,
Zeus
Lasso,
great
swap out immediately. You gets it done. Zeus will fly. Caught on to try to zone them out. The Death Ward going through, but the mech comes out as well. It's too dead for you, and they're going to try to find that third and excel. Sigma will Firefly over, but Bubble, it's just time walks down through. He does not have a blink tag, or Sigma will be able to blink out, and they're still looking for Excel, who's on the run. He'll try to tip you away. Shockwave will fly. They have the Zeus ult, or rather the Zeus lightning bolt to grab the kill. And that's 3 dead, and they've got 1 kill. Infamous have 1 kill in this entire game, Purge, dear lord. And that was, of course, First Blood.
I mean, they had a great initiation and went
my
on Zeus. I don't even blame them. That was a perfect initiation. They grabbed the highest damage dealing hero on DC there with the Zeus. Instant swap. And then the charge came through, did a bunch of damage, and the double heals coming out of the Chen. That just showed the gold advantage. Like, they just had so much gold advantage. It literally came down to the first couple fights and the first couple towers. Infamous needed to group and fight, or they needed to get a gank off while those pushes were coming, and they weren't able to do it. It was, like, actually a perfect game coming out of the DC, with the exception of the First Blood.
That was an impressive display. Obviously, it wasn't great for Infamous, but Digital Chaos had a great game regardless of what they had happen. They had a really good draft. They're looking solid. Even with Biryu standing in and being in that support position, they played very, very well. And we'll talk more about this game as we take a quick break in before we jump into game number 2. This is Dota 2 Canada Cup here on moonducktv. Game number 2 is right around the corner, guys. Make sure you stick around for our post-game report.